It's impossible to ignore. The price of gas is much higher than it was just a couple of months ago, and it's several bucks more a gallon on average than it was a couple of years ago. How much of that is attributable to taxes, and is there anything officials can do about it? Amanda Vinicky joins us now with more. Amanda.
Yeah, Paris, the answer, what can be done about it, is of course complex, but it is something that politicians are certainly talking about. By the way, the increasing price of gas, not just anecdotal, even before the war in Ukraine, put a strain on the international supplies. The price of gasoline was going up after dipping when the pandemic had begun. Now, a lot of factors contribute to what you pay at the pump. There's global events, distribution, marketing, and yes, taxes. And here is a look at what you pay at the pump if you go to a gas station here in the city. Federal tax of 18.4 cents a gallon, and an Illinois tax right now 39.2 cents a gallon. In Cook County also adds 6 cents a gallon, and Chicago's tax 8 cents a gallon. That adds up to a composite of about 72 cents per gallon in state, local, federal taxes. By the way, that is excluding still the sales tax. Now, all of those taxes that I just talked about, those are flat taxes per gallon, known broadly as motor fuel taxes, in which a report from the state's nonpartisan fiscal forecasting agency puts it, are not impacted if the crude costs of gas are hiked. Because our motor fuel tax rate is based on consumption, not on price, the dramatic increase in motor fuel prices over the last several months does not equate to a corresponding increase in motor fuel tax revenues. But as I mentioned, there is more. There's also a sales tax on gasoline. In Illinois, sales tax rate of 6.25%. And with that, the higher the price of motor fuel, the higher amount that the state collects. Now, let's go back to that first group of taxes, though. Some of those did increase recently. The cities went up from 5 cents to 8 cents a gallon during the pandemic. And then Illinois, it doubled. In 2019, went from 19 cents to 38 cents a gallon. Picked up some more in July, and it is set to increase again this summer. And that's because of a law Governor J.B. Pritzker signed in 2019, the state's capital bill that ties the state motor fuel tax to inflation, or to CPI. The Civic Federation's Lawrence Massal says that, yes, Illinois does have a higher tax on gas than do neighboring states, but he says usually people don't notice, even when it doubled.
Most people didn't complain and see a price, right? Gas prices were $2 or $3 cheaper than they were right now. But what's driving the increase in the price at the pump is not the state's gas tax. It's not the city's gas tax or the county's or even the indexing of it to inflation. It's the price of gasoline has gone up very, very dramatically. So yes, when things are expensive, when people can't avoid paying them, they pay more attention.
And it's not just you and I paying more attention. Businesses are, of course, as well. Governments, yes. Politicians paying attention too. And that is why you're hearing a lot of talk about gas tax relief. There are calls for the feds to temporarily lift its tax on gas. There was also some talk about Chicago dropping that 3 cents increase, though hearing that had been set for that for yesterday wasn't actually held. And the governor's proposing skipping what is likely to be this summer's 2 cent increase in the state motor fuel tax. Massal says, watch out.
It took 40 years for the state of Illinois to raise the gas tax. And in that time, we often did not have sufficient state and local match to do the road improvements, to do the bridge improvements, to do the infrastructure that we need. And now this is the first time where we're seeing significant inflation. We are going to take off the inflationary shock absorber, which allows the funds, the gas tax to grow with the price of gasoline. That creates a risk.
I noted that Chicago's hearing on their original plan was postponed. I am told that the city is exploring some other options right now, and not just the city. Cook County Board President Tony Preckwinkle's office also says that the county is exploring ideas. With that, Paris, back to you.
All right, well, we'll see what's left in the tank for some of those ideas. Amanda, thank you so much.